Hi, everyone.
Yeah.
And we're back. So when we last left off, the Fab Five had returned to Morag, the capital city of the Dwarven hegemony, hoping to sell off some of the random gear they'd acquired throughout their latest adventures. Their first stop was a peculiar tower-like building that housed a tinkerer of great renown named Fuckloral. Once inside, the team met with the strange elderly gnome who seemed more inclined to mess with the group than sell his particular inventions to them. He did end up showing them a few of his wares, some that were turned down in disgust, and others that were eventually agreed to. From there, the squad followed the directions Fuckloral gave them, but this ended up being a red herring, and the party found themselves at a sandwich shop instead. Apparently, he thought they were hangry. Eventually, the group did locate the enchanter's shop at the other side of town, where they spent quite some time negotiating with a dwarf named Millie, who, after some intense trade negotiations, purchased a decent stock of items from your group and traded for a few unique items that the group had been interested in for some time. Unfortunately for the group, this enchanter did not have a new portable hole for Veil to acquire. And so, Fab 5, with a stock of new gear in freshly wrapped boxes and your bag of holding a little bit lighter, you all left the shop to return to Fuckloral so that Blood could order up the hidden blade he's always wanted. As you all leave the artificer's shop once again, a question comes to each of your minds. And that question is, if you could go a different path in your life and could choose a different class, what would that be? And Blood, since you rolled, why don't you go ahead and answer first?
Well, I'm kind of starting to choose it now again, but I started training my early life as a ranger, scavenger, hunter with my father, and things got screwed up, and I had to leave home and fend for myself. So I learned to steal, cheat, and kill, and I am what I am today. But I think I'd like to go back and just go back to the basics. Just be a good old hunter again. Be a ranger.
Fair enough. Let's do Eloise next. Eloise, what would you do if you could choose a different class?
Well, all of my friends do some pretty cool stuff, but really, if my life had gone a different way and I hadn't fallen off the mountain, growing up really wouldn't have been very pleasant. So I think whatever magic I had would have just sort of started emotionally lashing out without any real control or I don't know, I guess education knowledge behind it. So probably would have ended up a sorcerer of some kind. Magic.
I like it. Necthros Veil. What would you be?
Well, after seeing the fluid movements and motions and reactions of Liam, I think that I would have to have chosen the monk. But with my love for the dead, I would have had to keep it, the way of the long death monk.
Okay. I like it. Liam, how about you?
Well, let's see. I've always been quite a scrapper, but more of an affinity for the woods than anything else, and I probably still would have run away when I was young, one way or the other. I see myself as a ranger if I weren't trained in the way that I was.
Okay, I like it. Unfortunately, Apollyon dropped out. He must be having some technical issues right now, so we can't get him to answer the question, but we'll find out whenever he does actually join us once again. Okay, Fab 5. The capital city of Morag is open before you, and the day is yours. Or more the evening now. It's probably around 5 in the evening by now. And if you weren't underneath the mountain, you could probably see the sun starting to descend toward the horizon. But it's Morag. The city glows with that same orange industrial light that perpetually illuminates the hollowed-out city under the mountain. But Fab 5, what are you wanting to do?
So I'm going to continue shopping. I'm going to grab... I sent a list in chat, but it's basically just more inks and papers, some sesame seeds, and some chalk that is infused with gold gems. I posted that in chat, and I'll be removing the gold from my inventory and... Bless you. And adding the stuff to my inventory for that.
Absolutely. You can certainly have done that while you're in the market district of Morag. It's fairly common to find a lot of those items, especially since they're regularly used components. So you're pretty good on that.
Okay, and I will be heading towards the library after that. I will get back to you shortly. I'm going to create a list of spells I need to learn and the price it's going to cost, just so it's all squared away. But that's what I'll be doing.
You say the library. I assume what you're talking about is the Conclave Library?
Yes. Okay. The library in the Conclave, where I'm able to learn spells, and I will be basically in the books for as long as it takes.
Well, that's a good thing about the Erudite Conclave. Since you are members and you do have the tattoo, you do have access to use their facilities. You just head over to there. The Conclave building in Morag is pretty much identical to the one you saw in Port Valena. It's a 5-story tall, perfectly square building made of polished stone. It's surrounded by an 8-foot tall iron fence that's patrolled regularly by the guards that are employed there. There are no windows outside the building other than the very top level. There's a row of windows around there. And there are tall marble columns that line the pathway from the outer gate to the large double doors that is otherwise completely clear of any other sign on this building. Excuse me a second. Don't you hate it when you're talking and you feel a cough coming up?
Yes.
As member of the Conclave, the library is accessible. That you can tell them what books you're wanting to work from, and they give them to you. They have a very large list of recorded magical works. Now, of course, what you have to do is you request the book, they bring it to you, you have to copy it onto the paper and work it out and then put it into your spell book. So it does take a bit of time. Overall, if I remember correctly, and I always do, spells are purchased at the Conclave as 100 gold per spell level. So a level 1 spell costs 100 gold to copy from their books, and then it costs 50 gold worth of ink and parchment. That's the material component you use to transcribe a spell and put it into your spell book. So 150 gold per spell level, and since the Conclave has dormitories for you to use, you could spend the entire week your group is hanging out in Morag just in the Conclave working on this. So, Veil, what spells are you wanting to take and how much are you spending here?
Alright, so I might be a little short. However, is there a way where I could be copying spells and then working off my debt, maybe doing something else for the entire week?
Well, I will remind you that the spells also take hours to transcribe.
Yeah. So I did the math out, and it'll take me about hold on a second. With the spells I have now, where did I just do that? It's only going to take about 3 days. That's with a full 8 hours rest, which I don't even need that. But it would take about 3 days for what I have. I didn't remember the spell cost being 100, so I was just going by 50 per level.
So you're saying you need to work off quite a bit of debt.
Yeah, look, right now I have 1,725 gold pieces worth of spells, but that's only at 50 gold per level.
Ooh. Now, you already bought the material components, didn't you? You did that at the enchanters.
Yeah, but
so you don't have to pay for that again. You already have the material components. You're just paying for the spells, and you're burning through the components you already own. Just so we're clear.
Right now, I only have 1,000 worth of parchment and ink from last session, and I was going to be buying an additional 725 worth of parchment and ink. Actually, so hold on. If it's 100 gold per spell level, so a level 5 spell would be an additional 500 gold just to learn from the Conclave.
Correct.
I would need an additional, let's see, 3,700 gold.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I had 5 level 5 spells and 3 level 4 spells. But I guess I'm just going to have to narrow that down. So if you guys want to continue talking, I'll do some math and see what I can afford.
Then we'll say for now, as Veil is heading in the direction of the Conclave, as he figures out what it is he wants to do.
Veil, Eloise can give you another 2,000 gold.
If you want, I could see what that dagger is worth, and either trade you for it, or you just sell the dagger, and I might not need your gold. This is that black dagger I found in the basement that was
that tells you to kill. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me take a look at that real quick.
Would the Conclave buy that off you, so it's not in fucking general population going out?
That's not one of Veil's concerns.
However, you're right. But I wonder if the Conclave would want it as opposed to it being out. You know, maybe give me more for it than a magic shop, just because of that reason.
I believe our contract with them says items are ours. So by their contract, it's ours to do with as we please. Yes.
Well, you didn't find that working for the Conclave either.
No, this wasn't under them.
That's true.
But he says, like, would they rather have it under their control than have it to maybe potentially deal with it later? Would they give him more money than the shop? I think is what he was going for there.
Okay, so looking up the Slayer's Dagger that you have there, without making your role play for it, just to save a bit of time, the Conclave would give you 2,000 gold for that type of relic.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and sell that.
That works.
Because they have told you before, they will buy antiquities and things of interest, and that dagger is an interesting one. It is a rare dagger, so they are willing to buy things of that nature. They don't buy like your general riffraff, like you could not have unloaded all of the caps the water breathing caps you had, but something like that they'll buy from you.
And then what else do they have on me that I could?
You've got a super rod. How much is that worth?
A what?
Oh.
Super rod.
Yeah.
Your staff of power.
Oh yeah.
I don't think he's going to be getting rid of that one.
That's only like
squeeze it a little bit tighter.
Like $100,000. That's what that is. Like 95,000 or something like that.
Mm.
Yeah, that one's not going away.
Right, see. I don't think
honestly, my next intention was to go to the Conclave anyway. So isn't that what we were all planning on doing?
Yeah.
You tell me. Are you all heading over to the Conclave?
Oh, that's why I'm asking them. I didn't ask the DM. Just give us a second to respond.
All right. So I'm gonna start heading to the Conclave, figure out this math, and then if you guys do end up going there, I'll meet up with you and tell you if I need a little assistance or not.
Okay.
Okay, well, with that in mind, what are the rest of you wanting to do?
I wanted to get to the Conclave. We need to get back on their pay scale here, so we need to sign up for another contract.
Okay.
No? So it sounds like everyone wants to go to the Conclave.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm gonna do something.
Well, you all do quickly march to catch up with Veil, who's sitting there just counting on his fingers, like trying to do math in his head and just tapping his fingers as he goes. All of you are able to get onto the Uncle Trolley and head over to the Conclave. Now, inside the Conclave, you've been inside there once before, and you are greeted by this familiar-looking dwarf sitting behind the front desk. You've seen this individual the last time you were through. A completely hairless dwarf. Its beard has been shaven completely clean. Decent little coif of hair on the back, and is wearing conclave robes. They look up as you all approach, and they say, "Oh, I recognize you before. You're here a few days ago, I think, or maybe at least 2 days ago, maybe? I don't know. What can I do for you?"
All right, we need to get back on the payroll. We had to jets, real quick business. Have to take care of that every once in a while. But who's available to speak with?
Let's see here. And he pulls out his book and begins looking through that. Oh, yeah.
You under F.
Did you have a specific research liaison that you were working with the last time you were through here?
Fuck all.
Nope, no one in particular.
I don't remember our specific research liaisons.
Whoever's the luckiest gets to deal with us. That's usually how it works.
We work with Tomas a bunch.
Yeah, but Tomas doesn't work. This isn't his branch.
Hold on 1 second. And they put their fingers to their ear and they kind of
Rathan.
muttering a little bit. You recognize
Thomas Rathan.
they're casting the message spell.
Mm.
Eventually they say, just hold on for a few minutes.
Head Archivist Sashanel Borenthal. But I don't like him.
Yeah, that's the chief archivist of the Conclave in Port Valena.
Yeah, that's the only one whose name I remember because I don't like him.
Oh shit! We gotta go back
Fair
to the
enough. Well, eventually you do see another dwarf walk through the back door, walking in. This dwarf is short for a dwarf, with short jet black hair, combed back with a green ribbon woven through their pleated beard. They have long brown robes that seem slim-fitting to accent the tight features of their body. And as they approach, they say to you, "And you're the Faab 5, correct?"
Fabulous as they come.
Hello.
There's 6 of you there. And he kind of looks back at Vulcan.
He's just
That's
a
my
friend.
au pair.
He's an esteemed consultant.
I'm just with them, really. You know, you don't even mind me. I'm just hanging out here. And the dwarf kind of rolls their eyes and says, "Okay, I think room 6 is open. Follow me." And they lead you out into the back and through to one of the rooms that you've been through one of these before. After they bring you into the room, they put down a file, a very large manila envelope that they open up and kind of begin looking through. Anyone who wants to see what it is, feel free to make perception checks.
It's probably a file at us. Fuck yeah.
My perception check was for something else.
22.
What was that perception check for, Eloise?
Something about the book has been like niggling my mind, and I noticed that some of the symbols were similar to some on the letter that Liam left in my bag.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, absolutely. With the 23, you definitely could have perceived that.
Mhm.
You're talking about the book of druid recipes that you found.
The not druid recipes, but the giant potion cookbook.
Yeah, potion cookbook. That's it. Same difference.
I think they're in Sylvan.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Well, making your way into the room, the first thing that Veil says is probably that he wants to go buy spells. Does that sound about right, Veil?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And she does call for using a messenger spell. Another archivist who comes back and tells you that they're going to lead you to the arcane section of the library to begin working on your books. They lead you up to a room not dissimilar to the one you've been to last time. You notice that as you're going through the Erudite Conclave, as you go through the library and up the stairs, that these buildings are freaking identical. They look the same every place you've been, or at least both of them that you've been to, they look identical. And that kind of is just like weird.
That is eerie.
But you go up to a research room where you're given the books you request, and you can start working on that. At that time, you are able to sell the dagger, and they tell you have 2,000 in credit for that. If you need to get any more money from your compadres, now's probably a good time.
All right, so I just did the math out, and with the sale of the dagger and the gold I currently have, I'm all set for all the spells I need, or all the spells I want, and I actually have 486 gold left over.
Okay.
So I'm going to remove the 1,000, or the parchment spell and ink. from my inventory. I don't know how to do that. Oh wait, no, yeah, I do.
Now, as you're handing over, as you tell them that you're going to sell the dagger to them, you do hear a faint whisper in the back of your head. No, don't
Fuck
do
you.
that. We can have so much fun killing together.
I'm serious,
Yeah,
guys.
and I kind of pause for a second and say, yeah, you're right, we can, but I'm going to have way more fun with these new spells. And I continue to hand it over.
And you haven't had the thing very long, and you didn't attune to it, so you are not bound to this thing in any way and are actually able to. But you can definitely tell the thing's angry with you. You can definitely feel its malice being directed towards you as the scholar who takes it and without touching it, takes a cloth, picks it up, and puts it in a box that they close and lock.
Okay.
They did go through an entire thing where they identified it first, learned a little bit about its nature, but you definitely got the idea that this is something for later study.
Okay. And with that, I hand over a list of spells, and I can either type it in the chat or tell you right now. What would you prefer?
You can do both. Go ahead and tell us right now so we can all hear. Everyone listening in can hear it, and you can type it in just so we have the list in chat as well.
Okay, so for the 3 level 4 spells, Everard's Black Tentacles,
Good.
Locate Creature, and Greater Invisibility.
Nice.
Okay.
For the 5 level 5 spells, Dance or Dance Macabre, Cloud Kill, Teleportation Circle, Mislead, and Creation.
Okay.
Interesting. Ooh. We'll be excited to see what Veil plays along. And when you do get that teleportation circle, the scholar does say to you, now we do have teleportation circles throughout the conclaves. We've actually networked them together to teleport between buildings. Now, if you're interested later,
Every building's freaking identical.
you're not here
How am I not there?
because they're upstairs doing their spells.
Fine.
He went with somebody.
I thought he came back into the room. Sorry.
But anyway, Veil, he tells you that if you like later on, he can bring you up to examine the teleportation circle they have in the conclave.
All right, so I absolutely take him up on that offer, and I say I would love to learn the symbols on this teleportation circle, and I'll say also if you have the time and are willing to, with the spells that I requested, the total cash and prizes cost is going to be just from you, I believe, actually, is hold on. Now I'm confused. I'm gonna have enough. I'll take it off my inventory.
Yep.
But the time that's the main thing I was gonna say. The time that it's going to cost. I'm going to be studying 16 hours a day. I will give myself 8 hours of rest, even though I only need 4. But just to make things go smoother, it will take about 3.8 days to to learn all these spells.
Okay.
We will be here for about a week. I'm wondering, with the remaining time, are you able to take me to the other teleportation circles across to each conclave so I could learn those symbols as well?
That's a really big request.
And I
go ahead and go ahead. What did you say?
I was going to say I was going to try to use persuasion on him.
That's actually what I was getting ready to tell you to do. Is go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Okay. And I will be using a lucky point.
Okay.
To re-roll that. It was a 16.
Yeah.
It's a 21. Okay. So, with your 21 persuasion, the man says, "Chance, that's a pretty big ask just for getting somebody to teleport us around to each outpost. However, what I can offer you is we do have a book of the teleportation circles here in the Conclave that lists each one. We are willing to allow you to check this book out. That way you can copy it and study it at your leisure. However, that costs you an additional 200 gold.
Sold. I have 486 left over. I will now have 286 left over.
The
Done.
frugal wizard.
And done.
I think Apollyon's back in chat.
Apollyon, you back?
You guys hear me?
Yep.
A little bit?
It's touch and go. Like, you guys are a little, like, distorted, too, when I'm hearing you.
You're a little distorted.
Yep.
Of course, Dance Macabre is a fucking necromancer spell.
Yeah, it's and that only cost me. It's a 5th level spell. It will only cost me 125 gold to learn. Well, plus the 500 for the.
So in the end, so at the end of the day, what you are given is 1, 2, 3, 4.
A lot.
Yeah, there's a total of 6 teleportation circles that the Conclave has active right now. And
Excellent.
you were given a book that you're allowed to copy that has a direct line to each. There are 7 in total Erudite Conclaves within the world. However, the last one, Outpost Ida, is currently under construction, so it is not complete yet. But the remaining ones, this is what membership gets you, and you're members of the Conclave. You are now able to get through to Outpost Alpha through Zeta. So that is in Hyrulean in Revancia, the capital city. Radagast in North Emia, which is the capital city of Radagast. Port Valena. Berlina, which is the capital city of Golfrin. The Conclave here in Morag, which is Outpost Epsilon. And then in Orzanthium, the capital city of Jura.
Are we? Will we be getting a handout of this, or I might have to ask you to. It doesn't have to be now to just repeat that so I can copy them all down. I don't know if we're gonna.
I can do a handout in like 10 seconds. It's not hard.
Okay. Perfect. All right, and just for time's sake, how long will it take to learn the teleportation circles?
Honestly, I figure it doesn't take more than an hour to study each one. And if you have and if you it'd probably take you a couple hours to transcribe it into your book. That if you want to actually transcribe the whole thing, but once you do that, you have them.
Okay, and then I say to Eloise, oh, is she not here right now?
She really. I'm sure in that time you could come down and re-meet your group.
Okay, I'm gonna say, Eloise, I'll be in the books pretty much all week. Is there anything you wanted me to take a look at and maybe interpret for you?
Sure. I was also gonna ask Liam if maybe, because we're probably gonna have to go hide out outside of Morag for the week. So maybe this can be a project that me and Liam work on during that time, so that way we're not
Even
just
better.
sitting there bored.
More time for my own leisure.
Yeah.
I was trying to be uncharacteristically nice, but I'm glad I'm glad.
I noticed,
I didn't have
and
to do it.
I appreciate it lots and lots.
Yep.
Have fun learning your magic.
Veil looks relieved that he doesn't have to transcribe it. All right. So, with that, Veil looks at the group in kind of disgust, but in almost like he was about to say, I'll miss you, or I'll see you later, but kind of just scoffs and turns around and with a wave of his hand says, "See you in a week."
Have fun learning your magic.
And with that, Veil shuffles away for a week, using the facilities of the Conclave and devoting all of his time to research, which is something that wizards are wont to do. But once Veil leaves the group, the rest of you are there with Mr. whose name I can't remember, so let me look in the thing.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
is
with wizards. Who doesn't like the smell of a good tattooed tree corpse?
Definitely. Melmond Fumner is the dwarf that is currently your field researcher liaison. And after watching all that go down, they looked to the rest of your group and said, and actually I asked you guys if anyone wanted to make perception checks to see what was written in the file. So did anyone do that? Did anyone take me up on that?
Bud did. Yeah, Bud took a
22, I believe.
Okay. So it is indeed your file, specifically your group's file. There's a short dossier on each of you, which you have seen before. You've glanced at, and various informations about the missions you've gone on. It doesn't take them long to go through. But by the time they look through it, they say, "Oh, yes, well, this changes some things. I have some notes here. I have a message here for Blood from a Stone and Tomas Rothen, who I believe was supposed to be with you, but you reported the last time that he was actually en route. Is that correct?"
Yes, he was transporting some people a different route, but yeah, he should be on his way. We hope.
Well, I have a note here that says that Chief Archivist Borentol of the Gamma Outpost wishes to see you in person at your earliest convenience. It's written down that it's a time-sensitive issue, but he does not have any. I don't have any more details beyond the fact that it pertains to a request that you apparently made of the Conclave previously. Do you know anything about that?
Is this about them going to meet the elves?
I can't. I don't have any more
that's what it
information
is.
here in my folder, unfortunately.
Yes, I did wish to be. If I could hear exactly what was going on there. So yeah, I'm guessing that's what that's about. We should be in Valena fairly soon. So that should not be an issue.
Okay, well, apart from that, you were asking about Conclave missions. It is marked down that you've been recommended for full status as field researcher, but you have not. It has not been approved as of yet. We do have a few tasks that we're wanting to be dealt with. So if you're looking for...
I don't quite understand. How have we been recommended but not approved? Who does the approving? Do you approve us?
Oh no! That sort of thing goes up for review. Your group will have to meet with, well, probably Chief Archivist Borentol, considering that it was Mr. Rothen who made the recommendation.
I see.
No,
So just Blood has a meeting with this Borenthal now, though, right?
Well, that's what the note here says, yes.
Interesting.
Let's see here. Apart from... I do have another note here. It says that there has been some developing information on the vision that Mr. Apollyon here gave us the last time you were through this branch, actually. Researchers, it says, and he holds up a piece of paper. Researchers believe that possible locations of the roots, some of the roots that witnessed in your dream or your vision or whatever it was, they recognized the capital city of Gulfrin. They're recognizing Azuria, which is a minor continent in the southwestern hemisphere of the planet. And the third one was Ilmithica in the Crystalline Palace there.
That one's going to be off limits. We're not getting that one.
They do nod their head and say yes. The elves definitely do not like people coming into their nation. However, I did hear a report about that the elves actually sent a delegation to speak with the conclave and the members of the rest of the nations. Did you hear about that?
I do believe that is what Mr. Bolenthal is wanting to speak to me about.
Yes, it's in. They're meeting in Venuis, I believe. I have heard that the conference has been concluded, but unfortunately, they're not releasing any details beyond that.
Of course.
Other than that, it looks like your file is pretty open. So we do, as I said, we do have a few missions that we're looking to have done, if that's the sort of thing you're looking for. Unless you're wanting to go meet up with Chief Archivist Borenthal over in Port Valena. That's really all I can give you right now.
If the missions aren't underwater, I'm willing to listen to them.
You're authorized to handle some of the more dangerous missions. I do have a bounty here for a purple worm. We are needing the carapace and the bile of the stomach, and we do have scouting reports that suggest that one has been seen in the mountains high over Morag.
Ooh yeah, let's take that beast down.
Well, let's
Sounds
see
like
what else.
my kind of adventure.
Let's see what else there are. Is
there anything further south in the direction we're planning on heading?
Further, well, I have heard about a mission that's being put together over in Port Valena and Outpost Gamma for the city of Rowena. You do have authorization to hear about this. That outpost is putting together a mission to attempt to recover one of the dream roots.
Roots boring. Purple worm. Purple worm. Purple worm.
Hey! Did you not hear the rest of the information that he just mentioned? You know what Rowena? You recognize that name, do you not, boy? Come on. Please tell me you recognize where you... Yeah, that's where the mission's going. So we would not only get paid to do. I mean, when's that one supposed to be coming due? Are they wanting that one launched on right now?
Well, from what I've heard now, well, I say I heard this. I'm reading it right here in your file. You actually set this mission in motion.
Of course we did.
So that's why I'm authorized to tell you about it.
Mr. Veil is not in the room to know, because I guarantee this would be the one he'd want to hop on. Because there's something else in Rowena that he wants.
Now, from what I understand, there is a tournament that's being held in Rowena here in a few short weeks, and the Conclave is planning on sending members of it, its best fighting force, to attempt to win the Gladiator tournament to make the request of the Zaim for the Dream Root.
Oh yeah, that's me, baby. You don't even have to worry about it. The champion will be back in the arena.
He's a fun child. And I guess that's because it was supposed to be, it was going to be, but we're pushing it back in game, right?
We're pushing it. We're basically, once your group is done with whatever they are wanting to do, and the other group is done with the mission they're currently on, that's when the thing in Rowena is going to go down.
So we potentially have time on that one. We'll definitely probably be taking that job. But is there something besides the purple worm? Is there another one local that we could deal with? And then go take care of the Rowena job?
Other than that, right now, there is an expedition that's heading into the Underdark to search for a ancient library.
Veil's not in the room.
He just hit like every single keyword in Veil's head.
This one, I do have to warn you, will probably take several months to get
Okay, alright.
And you did say you're wanting to take on the one at the end of the month.
As much as I would be excited to go visit that library, one day we can go. Veil and I will take a trip. I guess we can go look at.
Yeah, no other Conclave member has wanted to take it on just yet. It's going to need to be a fairly big expedition, so you never know. It might still be around.
Let's ride that purple worm all the way to Rowena, guys.
Let's go. He's not going to shut up unless he tells us about the purple worm. So you might.
I mean, I can take a purple worm myself. I've done it a few times, but I guess you guys could help.
Apollyon, this isn't that kind of purple worm. That one goes inside you. This one, never mind. We're talking.
Dwarf
what are you talking about?
Sitting there is.
It's a creature.
What?
It's a large, very dangerous creature. Not what you're thinking of.
Apollyon just shrugs.
You can still ride this one, I guess.
Ooh, yeah.
You can
I am
certainly try.
proficient in land vehicles.
Oh my god. Give us the information on the purple worm, I suppose. Because we're still waiting for Tomas to make his appearance as well. So we've got some time.
Okay.
We've got some time, but I thought we were going to be relaxing. Veil's going to be in the library.
We don't have to leave right away. We could probably do this at the end of the week. Because they want these things from the purple worm. It's not like the purple worm's just gonna be like, oh, these motherfuckers didn't show up on time and it left. I mean, it doesn't have a watch as far as I know.
Well, it is time sensitive in the fact that we do need this for some things we're working on. So if you're not going to take the mission right now, we have to leave it open in case anyone does. Now, if you do plan to come back and see if it's still there when you're ready to take it on.
And because our friend is doing some research, and I want to do a bit of research here too in a bit. So he said it's going to be about 4 days for him to get all his stuff done. So we will check back in on that.
I think since we set the things in motion with the dream route that they're talking about, maybe that's our responsibility as well.
Oh, well, that one I think is definitely going to be odds, but that one we can wait until we actually go to Rowena.
Takes time to travel.
Oh, yeah. You want to be prepared when you walk into Rowena. It is not the faint of heart locations for both people. We're going to need to be prepared. Let's just say that.
The dwarf kind of shrugs their shoulders and says, "Well, if that's it for today, gentlemen, lady, I do have other duties to deal with. So, is there anything else I can help you with, or
Not at all, love. You've been delightful. 5 stars across the board. Let's go find a bar.
That's what I guess the things I had asked you about, like the research stuff about, any information they actually have on the fighting pits or the palace in Rowena, would he be able to do any research on that while they go get sloshed?
Yeah, you can absolutely request information on the subjects. Are you just gonna spend the rest of the day in the conclave?
He probably will.
You have the next 4 days.
Blood will at least this day in the conclave, and then he'll figure out what to do with them when he's done doing his research.
Okay, so you're gonna stay in the conclave. You can get rooms there, and they do have dormitories that you can use, so you could actually stay in Morag rent-free at the Conclave, if you so choose.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'll just take a room at the bar for tonight because, well, we'll be camping out after that.
You'd probably be protected inside the Conclave, buddy.
No, it's also a matter of trying to keep my word now. He gave me a leash, and I'm trying to be respectful, and that's trying to be a man of my word. It's not much else that I have to my name.
I was going to say, I understand that, but I mean, the respectful part, I was like, are you turning over a new leaf?
No. You are.
Get all defensive about being a good guy. I get you. But yeah, Blood will hang out and stay there and do his research. If they want to go get drunk.
Okay. So you're staying at the Conclave and you're wanting to go do a research, so you are escorted into a cubbyhole very similar to the one Veil was placed, though the two of you never crossed paths during your time. But while Blood is doing his research, Eloise, Liam, Apollyon, what are the
and Voken.
And Voken, because Voken's just going to follow along with Eloise. So where are you wanting to go?
Just find an inn with a nice bar.
Yeah, I'm down for the tavern.
Well, there is the Wandering Tankard, which is the inn you all went to the first time you came to Morag. There are plenty others besides that, if you're looking for a different one. Is there one specifically you want to find?
Didn't you mention
It's delightful.
The Defending Warrior last time? Was a different one?
Yeah, there is the Defending Warrior as well. And there's other bars throughout Morag. There's plenty to find. You can just find one with a nice bar if you like.
I would say probably one close to the entrance if Liam is still planning on actually leaving Morag by morning.
Not necessarily by morning, more just at some point tomorrow, you know.
Okay, well, I want to be outside by morning because I need to know if my animal message is going to get back to me.
Yeah, that's true. You sent that a day ago, almost 2 days ago. Is that about right? Yeah. Because you sent it off
we
right
stayed
before
we did one night in Bradfordshire, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would have sent it the morning before we left for Bradfordshire. Yeah. But you said it was close enough that...
You're almost to the end of the second day right now.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ask someone here at the Conclave if they can message somebody in Port Valena and check on the well-being of a one Mitchell?
Nope, didn't think of that.
Well, you're still technically at the Conclave if you want to do that.
I mean, I don't really know how it works, but wouldn't they need to know Mitchell?
Well, I mean, I'm sure somebody in the port would know who Mitchell is. So they could contact someone at the Conclave in Port Valena and then ask them to go and see. One, they might actually have information because they collect information on every city they're in. And they could just ask the city watch or go have someone go down to Mitchell's shop and check on him.
Okay.
But I mean, you could still wait for the bird too. I mean, I'm just whichever one happens first, I suppose.
So what are you wanting to do?
Should I ask? I don't know.
Well, you can wait for your bird. That's fine.
Yeah, just ask them if anyone knows Mitchell.
Okay.
Can't hurt.
I'll go over to the dwarf before they leave us.
Okay. Yes,
Would
miss, what can I do for you?
Would it be possible to have someone in Port Valena check on Mitchell of Mitchell's Magical Mercantiles? Because you see, I had a contract with him, and he gave me this pouch, and it was full of flyers, and then someone whispered like this really like weird, and I don't know if they were threatening me or threatening Mitchell, but then the pouch just like burst into flames. So I just want to make sure that he's okay. Yeah.
I can request a sending spell. Is that what you're asking, to check on somebody? Is that what you're wanting to do? We can arrange that.
You know, if I don't know if you know Mitchell personally to be able to send him a message, or you know, just let someone from the Port Valena office know, and then they can check.
No. I can't cast sending myself, but I can request one of the wizards to come down and cast the spell to those in Port Valena, and we can see if they've heard anything about that at least. Will that work for you?
Yes, absolutely. I would greatly appreciate that.
Well, you're led out of the room and on up to the 5th floor of the Conclave, through to one of the various rooms that make up the central stalk of the tower. You're introduced to a halfling wizard by the name of Dendry, and you explain the situation to him and explain that you're wanting him to cast a sending spell over to Port Valena to check on somebody. And after a few minutes, he says, I can cast the spell. 25 gold.
Okay.
He takes the 25 gold that you pass over to him, and he sits there and writes out a short message. Requesting information about Mitchell from Marvelous.
I both love and hate when Alyssa gives way too much information.
It's not Alyssa, it's Eloise.
Right, I'm sorry. I was commenting out of character, sorry.
Concerned Okay, so he writes down a few words to figuring out how many he can do with his spell, and then you hear him saying, requesting information about Mitchell from Marvelous Mercantil. Concerned researcher here at Epsilon wishes to know if he is all right. Respond with info if accessible. He looks back over to you and he says, that was to a friend of mine who works as a researcher over at the outpost in Port Valletta. Hopefully he has some information. I might hear back soon. I might not. Where can I find you? Can't hear you.
Well, we're probably we're gonna be around. We're gonna be back to pick up our wizard friend and our rogue friend, and we're gonna be going to Fucklerall's because we commissioned a few things. But other than that, we're gonna be around.
I'm just gonna laugh every time I hear his name, especially coming out of her mouth. He was so much more innocent.
Well, I'll see if I can. I'll track you down as soon as I hear some things.
Thank you.
Give me 1 second here. Actually, I think we're going to take an early break today. That way I can type up a response and set up the next scene. So we will be back in about 15 minutes, everybody. Stay tuned.
Let's do it.
Greater invisibility,
Okay.
so fun.
Okay, so welcome back, everybody. When we last left off, Eloise and Liam and Apollyon had gone to meet with a member of the Conclave to send a sending spell over to the Conclave in Port Valletta, looking for information about Mitchell, someone who they've met in their past and who they're a little bit worried based on a sending Eloise had received not too long ago. Now, once the spell was complete, he lets you know that chances are he's probably not going to hear anything back for a little bit. But as soon as he does, he'll let you know. And your group starts heading back out from his room back down to the lower levels of the Conclave. But you barely get to the stairs before you hear his voice calling for you, and he says, "Oh, hey, are you still here? Hello? Hold on 1 second." And he comes running out of his room, and he's like, I heard back really quickly. I was not expecting that. The message was, Mercantil burned down in coordinated attack 9 days ago. Robert Mitchell missing, presumed dead. Local investigation ongoing, no leads as of yet. Sister examining rubble. Does that, I assume that makes sense to you?
Unfortunately, yes, it does. But I'd rather confirm some fears.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious as well. Follow me. And he leads you down to the third floor, into a room filled with a bunch of people sitting in front of desks, writing in books. He walks over to one, a half-elf man with a bald head and kind of droopy eyes, and he asks them, what information do you have on Mitchell's Marvelous Mercantil in Port Valletta? The old man goes and opens a book and begins looking through, and he says, yes, we have... it appears that Mitchell's Marvelous Mercantil was burned down about 7 days ago. No, sorry, 9 days ago. 9 days ago. The fire was lit in the middle of the night, and Mrs. Mitchell, what's her name here? Michaela Mitchell was able to make it out along with both of the employees who was working there. However, Robert Mitchell, the proprietor, was not found. The fire actually got well out of control and took the local guard, and the conclave, them working together to put out the magical flames that came up from, well, an enchanter shop burning down. Once the fire was put out, and they began looking through it, they could not find the body of Mr. Mitchell, or any other bodies for that matter, which is why he is considered missing. However, I do not have... that was the last report I had gotten out of Port Valena.
Question.
Yes, miss.
If someone were to cast or make something magical, let's say like a pouch that holds possibly an infinite amount of flyers in it, if they were killed, would that magic then cease to exist?
Not necessarily. Not as from what I understand about enchanting magic. Now, I'm not an enchanter myself. You might want to ask one. But from what I understand, killing the person who made the enchantment wouldn't affect the enchantment itself unless the enchantment was directly tied to them, like to their soul, perhaps.
Okay, because apparently this attack happened on Mitchell 9 days ago, you said?
Yes.
But my pouch from him went into flames 3 days ago.
Was it? Did I write it down wrong on my thing?
I'm pretty sure because it happened after the Groot stuff.
Yeah, we traveled really quickly in game.
Yeah. And so the Groot stuff, I think we stayed night in the Underdark, and then we traveled back.
Okay.
And then as soon as we got back, we left, I'm pretty sure.
I apologize. I was looking at the wrong date then. That's not
Okay, so it lines up with 3 days?
Yeah, so
the attack lines up with when my pouch...
Yes, correct.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
So I have a campaign timeline, and I write down what happens during each day. And I looked at and on the 7th, you got a message from Gold Tongue. And so I counted that as the message that Eloise got, but it was a different message. It was the one that you got. It looks like on the 14th.
Yeah, we've gotten other messages from Golden Tongue. Yeah.
But I got another. I don't remember.
I thought
maybe not even you. It might have been like Blood or somebody like that.
I thought it was you who got the message. Mitchell sends his regards.
Yes.
Yes, but that happened when my pouch went.
Yes, and that day it looks like it was on the 14th.
Yeah.
And we are currently
in the end of the 16th, so not quite 3 days ago.
Okay.
So sorry, it was 2 days ago that happened. Matt just read wrong on the timeline, but yeah, it coincides. The day that the Mitchells burned down is the day that your pouch burst in flames. Okay,
and it's been almost 3 days.
Almost
not quite 3 days.
Yes,
okay,
not quite 3 days.
Okay. Because if Mitchell had been missing for over a week, I would have started panicking.
Nope. 100% my bad. 100% my bad.
No. Okay.
I need to be a bit more descriptive in my notes, apparently.
Okay.
All right, he should be okay. If you think about it, he's no good to them dead. He's an enchanter that could make him work for him, and also they know we want to get to him, so they will be setting up a trap.
But did they just take him for bait? Like, why?
Well, they don't know us very well. We've been through several towns, and Mitchell's probably the closest attachment that we've made so far. It feels like they're just trying to hurt us. They warned us against the last mission we went on.
Vulcan pipes up. Didn't y'all say that you were... I saw you all passing out the flyers of Mitchell's. So if they know who you are and they know you are passing these things out, it's not a hard...
Incredibly easy to track us? Yes.
That's right, we did leave the flyers just about everywhere we went.
Mitchell wanted me to leave them.
Yeah, but I don't think he figured we were going to be getting into the kind of trouble and attracting the kind of trouble we were attracting.
These are bad people. It's not your fault or his. We'll get him back.
Who are these people?
Well, we know one of them is Golden Tongue.
I believe they're closely tied into our next mission.
Yeah, we're going to see him again very soon.
Wait, so enemies that aren't our enemies yet. So
No, there are
future enemies are deciding to antagonize us now before we even.
This was Golden Tongue. We've met him before.
Do you remember in the cafe when he...
Yeah, I just don't know who the heck he is. Or why he knows who we are.
You remember the dream root that we got?
This is before we met you. We kicked this...
Remember the mountaintop after the dragon?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was part of that group. He didn't get killed in that group. He was part of the group chasing us.
No, he wasn't with us. He was...
His men were part of his group, yeah. Same force. He's with them, at the very least, if he wasn't there.
Yeah, they were the dream.
So he's with Grovajar?
Yes.
Oh,
there
that
you go.
makes more sense.
Okay.
Yeah, we kicked.
I still don't know who Grovajar is, but at least you guys have spoken of him before.
We've spoken about him. Yeah.
Yeah, we made that.
Spoken enough about Grovajar that I have an idea.
We made that enemy before we met you. Sorry.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Never hurts to review why we're doing what we're doing. To the tavern.
We will definitely be seeing Grovajar soon, and maybe Golden Tongue in Rowena.
Oh yeah, we'll stop in on our old friends, all right, and we'll lay the smackdown on their jabroni asses.
You know how long it took me after we started hanging out to figure out that Grovajar wasn't actually one of Apollyon's past lovers? The way that Apple always talks about him?
Oh yeah, I just have a little crush on Grovy Bear. We'll see him soon enough, though.
You have a crush on the guy who may have killed your lover?
What?
No, we met Grova Bear Char. We met Grovy back in Weston. His army had surrounded the keep that we were at. A giant dragon flew overhead. It was a bunch of scariness, golems, crazy things, monsters, all that stuff. And then he challenged Apollyon to one-on-one combat. Knocked Apollyon flat on his ass. And ever since then, Apollyon's been rather attracted to the man.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
I still think we should have just killed him.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, we would have lost those prisoners, but I think we could have just lit him up and killed him then and there. Still just a thought.
And everyone
it was bad thoughts, but
the
it was a thought.
like, remember, you're still in this room with all these researchers, and like you notice in this moment, all the writing has stopped, and every head is turned to your group. They're just taking this entire conversation in.
Ari, did you not read the reports? We told everyone this already. You guys need better mail system here going on. You don't communicate very well from port to port. Anyway, to the tavern.
Here. Yeah, let's get a couple rounds.
Absolutely. Well, you said you're looking for an inn and tavern that's close to the entrance of Morag. And it doesn't take you too long to find one. This one is called the Mushroom and the Snail. It's a quaint little place, a stone building with an interesting gray slate roof. It's a 2-story building that has a full bar in the front of it and rooms on the second level. And in the basement, they actually have a hot tub built in and underneath that they heat by using magma vents to heat up the water.
Ooh, fancy.
Is there a bard singing?
There is a bard singing currently. As you walk into the space, the first thing you do notice is the bard, a very flamboyant-looking dwarven man with bright, like candy apple red hair, strumming on a lute and singing about some type of adventure where a dragon is fighting a knight, but they end up being lovers instead, and it's a really weird body tale.
Of course the bard would be singing about that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
'Twas I that fucked the dragon. But making your way past the bard singing on stage in this large tavern, you come up to the innkeeper, a portly woman, human, oddly enough, in a town full of dwarves. Very matronly, with a gray-streaked bun tied back on her head. Very severe facial features from this, and an ample bosom that's very flashy shown, and you can see that there's a lot of sunspots across the entire thing. Her petticoats are cinched up to one side, and she greets you all with a very large smile as she says, "Welcome to the Mushroom and the Snail. What can I do for you?"
The people on the way here, you had a fancy hot tub downstairs. Is that extra?
Oh well, it is part of the rental of a room here. So our rooms are a little expensive compared to some other places in Morag, but it's well worth it.
Don't worry, the Golden Boi is here in Morag. We're going to take your best suite and the hot tub room.
Oh, well. Okay then, Mr. Golden Boi. Wow, you certainly are a big specimen I see before me. Wow. Well, our best suite.
Best show your support by sponsoring me in the gladiator competition coming up.
Oh, I don't think I could do that sort of thing. But what I could do is make sure you get a nice, relaxing soak in the hot tub to wear away all of those hard muscles from the fatigue that you no doubt feel.
Oh, yes, you know it. After a long day of battling jabronis, the Golden Boi needs some rest and relaxation. Gotta recharge. Well, go ahead and throw in a few concubines for me and my friends, too. What do you guys want? Boys, girls, both?
She's kind of fanning herself a little bit at hearing this sort of thing. I don't really get that kind of request just outright, but I suppose I do know a few people in Morag who can entertain you if that's what you're looking for.
Oh yeah.
This is just his request. I'm not involved. You have fun, buddy.
Oh no, there'll be enough for everyone. Don't worry. Give us down to your finest ale as well.
Well, the finest suite in this inn is the Emperor's Suite. It is what you'd consider to be more like a honeymoon suite type of place. Nice big king-sized bed in the middle of a wide room. Its own bathroom, which is a luxury because that's the only one that does have its own bathroom. But it does have a stone tub in it as well. Now, it costs 10 gold to rent for the evening. Your standard rooms cost 5 gold, which is kind of pricey, all things considered. Meals are offered as well. They have a nice selection of meal and ale. So, how many rooms are you all wanting?
Well, can we get 5 beds in that honeymoon suite?
Oh my god.
You want them to reorganize their furniture for you?
That's not a problem, is it?
Right.
And with that,
right now.
I take my gold sack off of my belt and I kind of plump it onto the counter, and they can hear how much gold I have in there.
She kind of glances around at the rest of you. Yeah, Blood, you're just not there, so you don't get the right now.
That's what I'm telling him. He's talking about 5 beds. I was like, Blood's not there.
No, but Vulcan is.
Yeah, Vulcan is.
That would still be
4 beds.
4 beds. So you would need 4 beds.
Me, Liam, Apollyon. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
4.
Oh, right, because Veil is
Veil
also.
isn't there either.
Yeah.
They're both not there. Okay, well.
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, if you want to pay them to rearrange the furniture, for a total of 30 gold pieces, they will bring in 3 other beds into the Emperor's suite from some of the other rooms.
Sounds good to me. Oh yeah.
How many nights are you wanting to rent this room?
I'll be taking one single room by myself. Just a 5 gold room would be fine. Just for one night for me.
So you're just taking a 5 gold room for one night?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, nonsense, Liam. Come on, party with us, you and Eloise.
Polly, I want you to understand what you've just asked here. You want us to all have our own beds and all have concubines for the night to all spend the night in the same room at the same time. I love ya like a brother. However, no.
Well, Liam's saying no to the orgy then.
Oh man, I just assumed you guys were down. What with all this adventure and stuff? I thought that's what people did out in these parts.
If they're you, they're more than welcome to do it. It's just not my style, you see.
Right.
As interesting as an experience as it might be,
later. And you raise up one eyebrow.
As interesting as an experience as your orgy may be, I really don't want to experience that with my affair. We're very open with each other, but not that open. I think you found the line.
Yeah, Vulcan's just kind of standing behind you. His arms are crossed, and he has a very similar eyebrow raised as you do, Apollyon. Like for a second, he was kind of like, well, I mean, I am a druid and all, but then he looked down at Eloise and is like, no.
If you two wanted to have fun with the orgy, totally go enjoy yourselves. I can get another room.
I figure you and me could just share a room, Eloise.
Polly, you deserve the suite, honestly.
You don't want to take Apollyon up on his orgy and concubines?
Look, when you say it like that, it doesn't sound all that. But this is a magical journey of rest and relaxation.
When you say it like what? Regurgitating what you said?
I've been told their spa services are world class here in Morag.
I'll go grab us a round of ale, buddy.
Maybe something stronger?
Yeah, I imagine I imagine that the very very white scaled Eloise with that pearlescent sheen, even with all of that white, you can see that faint hint of pink starting to shine through from her scales. Probably about as red as Alyssa's face was a moment ago.
No, actually, Eloise would not be blushing as hard as I am. Yeah. Because, like, no judgment. If you want to go and have some consensual fun as adults, you go and have it. But maybe don't put a father and a daughter in the same room during an orgy.
She'll even be the notary for the consent form. Like, she's cool.
Yeah, I think Vulcan's kind of giving off the vibe of, well, if it wasn't being offered in front of my daughter at the same time,
Sure.
then I might consider an orgy, but since she's here and she's definitely said,
I'm gonna roll it.
You can totally say yes. I'm just saying I don't want to both of us participating at the same time in the same room. That's kind of. But if you want to participate, please feel free to participate.
No, his intent with the 23 insight that Liam just rolled. He's picking up that it's more of he's less comfortable with the idea that you know what he's doing than the idea of him doing it.
Right.
Really?
If that makes sense.
Okay.
Right. So continuing in the theme of Apollyon living it up, once everything's settled, he's going to whisper to the bartender, too. You got any other fun around here?
God.
He's talking about drugs.
Yeah.
Well...
I'm gonna have a great week in Morag. Just to get this all through. Liam, 5 gold per day for a room, so just for one day, that's 5 gold from you.
Okay.
Eloise, do you want to share a room with your father, or are you wanting one for yourself?
Whatever. If he's dead set against participating
he's
in the
made
orgy,
up his mind already.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
I will. There we go.
So you're taking 5 gold off your sheet. Good to go.
Yep. How much for
to roll to see how psyched you are about an orgy?
How much for a round of drinks and a round of shots?
A round of drinks and a round of shots. Let's see. Let's call it 10 gold pieces for the whole thing.
Okay.
And Apollyon, as you're sitting there talking to him, how much did I say the suite was again? I forget.
30.
30
Well, that was when we moved all the things.
Beds. Yeah. If you're not moving the beds, then 10.
So 10 gold per night.
Gold anyway.
Well, what I was going to say is, after the 10 gold, you're talking prostitutes. Now, they can send a fair assortment to you. She does know a madam in a brothel a few streets down that will provide for you whatever you want.
Yeah, give me your 3 best ones.
Your 3 best. Your 3 best.
And that's as specific as he's going to be. I love it.
Yeah. It's the 3 best is one male, a tiefling, 2 women. One is a dwarf. The other is a half orc. The cost I
haven't been with a tiefling yet.
The 3 of them together, each one cost 150 gold for a night.
Big prices. Better be
You
worth
asked
it.
for the 3 best.
$450 just for
Yeah, let's do it.
How much for your 3 worst?
10 gold each.
They pay you money.
Oh my god! All right, I've taken off 470 from my from my gold.
470 from your gold, which gets you the room for the night, round of a very lovely bottle of very strong alcohol, and 3 prostitutes, 1 male, 2 female, a tiefling, a dwarf, and a half-orc. Now, when you asked about drugs...
I don't know if you can count, but that is 4.
What?
Tiefling, a
Tiefling, dwarf, and a half-orc.
Oh, I thought you said there was a human too. Okay, my bad.
No, the human's the server that you were talking
down
to.
and left.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, the human was Liam.
Yeah. Now, as far as that, when you asked about drugs, she tells you that she could get you some interesting mushrooms, if that's something you're into.
Oh yeah, I love the mushrooms because I'm not a scared wizard.
Well, it takes her a little bit.
What the fuck is happening?
It takes her a little bit, but sure enough, after about an hour, while your group, Liam, Eloise, Vulcan, are sitting around a table drinking ale and doing shots, she eventually calls you back over and she introduces you to a halfling at the back door, who is willing to sell you some small dried mushrooms for about 30 gold.
Thanks, bro. I give him a little fist bump.
Oh, he bumps you right back, and he hands you a small paper bag that has 6 mushrooms, 6 small dried mushrooms. And when he takes it, he looks at you up and down, and he says, "You could probably take 2 if you wanted. I wouldn't do more than that in one session, if you get my meaning."
Yeah, thanks for the script, Doc.
And eventually Apollyon comes back, marching into the inn, which is becoming much more loud and rambunctious at this point of the night.
While the drug deal is going down, have the sex workers already joined us?
Mm-mm.
And joined Apollyon yet? No?
Not quite yet. They'll be coming around
Dang
a
it.
little bit later.
They're
Unless you want
just-
them to. I'm totally okay with you wanting them to. I'm going to say...
If they're there, I would take...
Later in the night.
I would... What?
Well, they're not in the same building. They have to, make a call down the street or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I didn't expect the drug dealer to be in the same building. So.
The drug dealer made a delivery.
The drug dealer made a delivery in the span about an hour. As you all are sitting there drinking and enjoying the music. And the prostitutes are going to show up later in the evening.
Sex workers take time to doll themselves up. It's like you've never ordered a call girl or guy before. Like, seriously. Freaking Canada.
Oh, it has nothing to do with Canada. I am friends with such a person. However, I have never had the funds to be able to afford such a person for myself.
Well, we can all aspire to something.
Jokes and jokes.
But is there anything you all want to do for the evening beyond that, or?
Yeah, I wanted to go up to the bard, put a couple gold on the stage for him, and ask for the next song to be fun, but a little bit slower paced, because Eloise is still learning to dance.
Okay.
And then when it comes up, I'll go up to Eloise and I'll ask for her hand to dance. And while I do that, I go, and would you care to dance real quick? And your tail, would your tail care to dance? Do you have a name for your tail yet? I mean, you have a name for your staff, and I figure your tail has more personality than your staff, so surely you no? Yes?
Oh, yeah. His name's Bernard.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. He's an asshole.
Would you and Bernard care to dance?
I mean, yeah, but he might hurt us. He might try to. Okay.
We survived last time.
This is true. We're still alive.
When we get out on the dance floor and we start dancing, you want me to make the checks now?
Yeah, I'm gonna say let's go ahead and make some dexterity checks.
Dexterity or performance?
Acrobatics. Yeah, performance. That is a better one. Go
Yeah.
ahead and roll for performance, the both of you, since you're both dancing together.
Just a 14, not my best.
Okay. So,
6.
as the bard begins his a little slower but still jaunty tune, you go up to Eloise, take her by the arms, and begin moving her about the dance floor. Eloise, as the two of you are walking and moving, your tail begins to whip around, wraps around your leg, and begin to stumble. Liam, with your 14 performance, you're able to grab her as she begins to fall. You catch her before she ends up face planting, and you both stumble, trip, but manage to keep your feet after a huge tumble. You're still on your feet, you're still moving, but everyone saw just this huge, almost collapse.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
It's quite all right. And 3, 2, 1, and we're back into it. I don't think you have to worry too much about Mitchell. Honestly, he's no good to them dead. They have to keep him alive. He'll be all right.
And he's so smart. I mean, look at all of the stuff that he made and he invented. Like, he's gonna be able to outsmart them. I know
You
it.
heard what the last enchanter we went to said. The bracers that he made, top notch. Top notch. They're not just going to throw something like that away. It'd be foolish. And though they're evil, they're not foolish.
As the two of them are dancing, Apollyon, Vulcan leans over towards you, and he says,
Yeah.
"So what did you get when you walked off a while ago?"
Just a little extra fun for the night.
He's gonna do drugs.
He shows them the little bag of mushrooms.
Vulcan kind of glances in them and looks in the bag for a moment.
What do you think? 3 for you, 3 for me?
I'm gonna have him make a perception check to see if he can, or actually a nature check to see if he can identify them.
Told you not to do more than 2.
Shit.
Okay. He rolled a 23. He's glancing down at the mushrooms and he says, "Oh, that can be kind of fun. I don't know. I wouldn't mind trying 1 or 2 of them, but I don't think I'm going to take more than that. But if you don't mind, I would love to have one."
Go for it.
He's going to reach in and he's going to take out 2. He reaches into your bag, grabs 2, takes them out, and very, very, sleight of handy, or he's going to try to do sleight of hand, popping them into his mouth. As the two of you need to make another performance check as you dance nearby. Yeah, he rolled a pretty good sleight of hand.
Watch him as soon as the effects of the mushrooms kick in, and if it's a good thing, he's gonna call Eloise over. Just watch.
Alright, so I rolled a 14 again, but this time Eloise got a 17.
Indeed. Okay. Interesting. As the two of you are beginning to feel a little more in rhythm together, Eloise, you're starting to follow Liam's lead. You're keeping your tail back. You're very conscious of your tail at this point from that near almost collapse. Like, if you would have rolled under a 14, Liam, you both would have gone down.
Mm-hmm.
But this time you're really focused on keeping your tail back and away from your feet. Liam is doing the best he can, keeping with you and leading at the same time. And you do pass by the table where Vulcan and Apollyon are sitting, eating, and drinking. Go ahead and make a perception check, Eloise.
25.
Wow.
That is enough to notice that as you're going by, you rolled high enough that you can keep an eye on what's going on. You do notice that Vulcan reached into the bag and pulled something out and popped it in his mouth.
I'm just gonna whisper to Liam, like, oh, tonight's gonna be fun.
Can't believe you rolled over his sleight of hand.
I'm gonna roll an insight to see if I can tell she's talking about Vulcan.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely
You know exactly what I'm saying.
He was putting down. All right, good to know.
There is no miscommunication here.
So, Apollyon, you've seen Vulcan take a couple of your mushrooms and pop them in his mouth, and he chews for a minute and swallows, and he just kind of pats his belly and says, "You gonna try that, boy?"
Oh, you know it. Did they call me the Golden Boy or for nothing? I'll take 2 of them out and eat them as well.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a con saving throw, please.
Oh god, this is gonna be excessive.
Sorry, I just stole the nat 20.
Speaking of nat 20s, I've been rolling some hella nat 20s lately.
Yeah, I noticed, dude. It's nat 20s and real low for you. It's very odd.
It is. Apollyon,
There are
what'd you
numbers in between, you know.
23.
Okay, with your 23, you chew up those mushrooms and swallow it, and the two of you and Vulcan together, just start sitting there, chilling, watching. You continue on to drink your ale. The first round was bought by Liam of ale and shots, and you're finishing them right about now. Vulcan seems to be smiling, and he's just kind of chuckling a little bit to himself. As Eloise and Liam, you pass by the table once more. Give me another performance check, please, the both of you.
All right.
But you, Apollyon, you're sitting there for those first 10 minutes. Like, okay, what's going on? What's going on? But you're not feeling anything. And you feel a little disappointed. As Liam and Eloise pass you by, Eloise, your tail begins to get between you and Liam. And Liam, you are able to notice this. Just as it snakes between the two of you, you lift her up and do a little bit of a spin and a pirouette before putting her down on her feet, narrowly missing the fall you were about to make.
Nice.
Bernard just really wants to be included.
Bernard, I think that's a lovely name, by the way. I say to the tail as we keep dancing.
Oh my god, no, we're not doing this. I don't have a sentient tail.
Oh, sorry.
So, Apollyon, you're really not feeling it right now, and you're kind of disappointed.
There's 2 more in that package, buddy.
Yeah, I guess I'll take the other 2.
It's gonna die.
Vulcan is giggling like a madman, and he's just watching as Apollyon takes the bag and just empties it down his mouth. 2 more mushrooms down the gullet. Give me another con saving throw, please. At disadvantage.
Oh,
Earlier, I was thinking maybe there's enough for all of us, but
my con saving throw is like ridiculously high. I'm actually hoping for low numbers.
come on.
A 13.
Well, both actually would have failed this one. 2 more mushrooms go down your gullet, and you sit there for a few minutes. You finish off the last of your beer, and Vulcan calls over, "Give us another round, lass. I'm feeling good right now." And he's just kind of chuckling a little bit. As the second round of ale and shots are placed down before you, Apollyon, your pupils begin to dilate, and the world just seems that much more complex. There's colors and shapes spiraling all about you. The music that's playing in the center of this room right now, you can see as these patterns and wavy lines of color that move about throughout the room, giving an almost Van Gogh kind of look to the world around you.
He's experiencing synesthesia.
Yes.
Fun.
Oh yeah, this is freaky deaky.
Yeah, indeed it is. It is amazing. And you and Vulcan, you look at one another, and the two of you just begin to giggle. As Eloise and Liam pass by once more, give me another performance check, the both of you.
Alright, as the song ends, this is the fourth performance check here.
Oh god.
Sure enough, as you pass by that table, Eloise, the look on your father and Apollyon's face just catch your attention, and you can't help but look, and as you do, your tail wraps around the both of you, both you and Liam's legs. He gets caught up by the same motion just as his eyes lock onto yours, and both of you just go down, head over tea kettle, and Liam, your head hits the floor. Eloise lands directly down on top of you in a gigantic cluster of arms and legs and other body parts and extremities. And Eloise, you can't help but cry out a little bit as you land on top of Liam.
Apollyon just roars out with laughter. You silly kids.
And,
I'm gonna look up and see Apollyon's dilated eyes and be all like, "You crazy ass."
Did you see the dragonfly? She just fell against again. I can't believe she just fell again. I saw it. Oh my god!
And as everybody's clapping for us falling on the ground, I'm going to stand up and give a nice wobbly bow to the whole crowd.
Indeed you do. And Eloise is just in a heap on the ground as Liam pushes himself up. Vulcan is just cackling like a madman.
I help her up as I go.
He's got Vulcan has two mugs in his hand, and he's kind of clapping them together, making a really loud sloshy sound. And then Apollyon, seeing these splatters, is just immediately drawn to them. His eyes lock, and you can't help but watch as these flecks of ale just come spurting out in an almost slow motion kind of way. Eventually, Apollyon, your prostitutes arrive. And seeing them, it's really freaking bizarre. They're beautiful and masculine and sensuous and muscular and exotic all at once to you in this altered state of perception.
I'm gonna, although I play it off that like I don't care about the embarrassment, kind of dash downstairs to the hot tub to kind of hide my shame.
Okay. Getting up, and once Eloise is dusted off and on her feet again, you just peace out and go heading down to the hot tub.
Yep.
Eloise, you watch as the three prostitutes walk in and go straight to Apollyon, who's just braying like a freaking, minotaur.
He collects himself from a... Oh, hello there. You looking for me? Because I'm looking for you.
Oh, and they give you that sensuous, yeah, honey, we're definitely here for you. And wrapping your arms around the two of them while the third just grabs you by your belt and starts dragging you towards the stairs leading upward.
Oh, yeah. Let's go relax in the hot tub, babies.
Crap.
You head down into the hot tub. Well.
And then I'm going to look at Vulcan. I'm going to take a look at how big his pupils are right now. And I'm going to like, okay. Maybe before bed, let's let's go get a nice wash, a nice bath.
Oh my
We
god!
haven't had a nice hot bath in a while, so I'm just gonna bring him down to the hot tubs.
It's that commercial. I learned it from watching you, Dad.
Yeah, it's not hard to persuade Vulcan. It's really not hard to persuade Vulcan to follow you down to the hot tub. He's giggling the entire time, but like every 10, 15 feet or so, something catches his eye and he has to stop and start looking at it. So it actually takes a little more process to get down there than you hoped.
I'm familiar with an intoxicated father.
Oh, I'm
I know how this works.
Fair enough.
I know how he works under the influence.
Well, I'm glad I'm living up to your expectations. As for the rest of you, Liam has just basically ran down to an impressive pool. Going down to the basement, you find a hallway that goes to the left and to the right, and there's a men's and women's label on the both of them. I assume you head towards the men's.
Yes.
And you find a lovely heated pool. It's completely chiseled out of stone, and there's a stone fountain of a dwarf woman nude, but with hair wrapped around her in that, Venus de Milo kind of look, holding a fish that's pouring out water into the pool.
Other than like how big we talking this pool is?
It's easily 20 by 20 feet.
Oh wow, that's big.
It's large. It's meant for many people to use at once. It's not very deep. It's only about 3 feet deep in total. But there's a nice long bench built in around the entire length of it, so people can sit down while they soak. And there's a big sign that says "No lifeguard on duty."
All right, as I'm the first one down there, is there anyone else there at the time when I get there?
At the time you get there, no, there's nobody in there. You did see a person going into the women's room just as you got down to the bottom stairs, another dwarven woman. But the male room is completely empty.
All right. Well, the only way to properly take a bath is to get naked. So I strip naked and I undo my 4 feet of hair and I get into the nice hot tub and I soak because I haven't in a long time.
And you're probably wistfully missing your hat as you disrobe the rest of the way. You made it down first and are sitting there slightly embarrassed about what happened upstairs. But you're relaxing and enjoying the nice hot water, and it is hot. Like, it's not so hot that it's going to cook your skin, but if you were a lesser man, you'd probably be turning red.
Okay.
It's pretty damn hot. You get down there first. Now, Apollyon, you head down about 5 minutes later in tow of the 3 individuals you had hired for this evening. You get down to the lower level and find the same T intersection. Men to the left, women to the right. Which one are you going to go to?
Oh yeah, men's room.
Men's room, absolutely. Of course you do. You start heading in that direction. The 2 women and the man are enjoying your muscles as you walk. You push open the curtain, and there you see Liam sitting towards the end of the pool. And you look up Liam to see Apollyon and the 3 prostitutes that he had hired for this evening step into the hot tub.
Oh, hey there, Liam.
You see Liam with about 4 feet of purple wet hair just kind of floating lightly on the surface of the water, and that's the only vanity curtain he has right now.
And honestly, I imagine like you put this dye in your hair, and you use the alchemy jug to wash it and stuff, and you really haven't washed it since. So there's probably a lot of dye kind of seeping out into the water from your hair right about now.
A decent amount, sure.
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
Ooh, pretty colors.
Oh yeah, you can't help it. You just stop and stare for about 5 minutes, looking at the water and the rippling waves. And while this is happening, the prostitutes are disrobing and giggling and laughing and having a great old time as they're disrobing you as well. Now,
Which takes about 2 seconds. He's only got like a loincloth on.
Now, Eloise, about this time, you've convinced Vulcan that the thing he's seeing is not nearly as interesting as he thinks it is.
Yeah.
And you're starting to lead him downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
As the rest of them, you see a path to the left and the path to the right, men's and women's.
I'm going to help my affair. I'm going to bring him to the men's section. I'm going to help him disrobe and help him into the water and go, oh, hey, guys. And then I'm going to start walking out to go to the other side because I'm like, I don't think I'm allowed on this side. See ya.
Eloise, there's a couple ladies in here right now. Where are you going, girl?
Am I allowed to stay?
We seem to be the only ones here. I don't see any problem with it. It says there's no lifeguard on duty.
Okay. Disrobe and hop right in.
Yeah, it gets weird after this point.
Cannonball?
Because, yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, I wild shape into like an otter and just start swimming.
Perfect.
So Eloise, just dropping her clothes into a heap, transforms into an otter and just dives into this purple infused water that is kind of extending outward from Liam.
Well, I figure if there's water coming in, there also has to be water filtering out, so it's at least halfway mixed and going to the drainage.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Definitely. It's not like perfectly purple water.
Right,
It's
okay.
just you're getting a little bit of that cloud.
Like purple swirls, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
exactly.
gotcha.
Exactly. But Apollyon, you feel these individuals disrobing you, and you can't help but get excited and enjoy the sensation. And Eloise is over there in an otter form.
Having a great time.
And
Yeah.
Vulcan just
Oh,
sees
yeah.
this, and he's an otter now too, because why the fuck
Of
not?
course.
And two otters are just swimming around. He's just following along.
He's pretty high right now. He doesn't have a lot of independent thought.
He really doesn't. Neither do you,
Yeah,
Apollyon.
I know. I was hoping that he would then join Apollyon and then I could get out.
Nope.
Nope.
Two
No,
otters chasing each other.
Now we're both otters.
Two
Okay.
otters chasing each other while Apollyon is getting a rub down directly in front of all of you. And it's probably a little uncomfortable seeing this because Apollyon, well, he's high as fuck. He's eaten 4
somewhere-
of these things.
Somewhere blood's being shown in his room, and he's all like, there's no
Thank
way these guys have it better than me.
Thank Christ, he is not
Yeah,
there.
blood from a stone. By this time, you're in the conclave and you're getting some research. You requested information about the Colosseum specifically, and also a little bit about the palace that's in Rowena.
And a book on, like, I guess a draconic to common dictionary kind of thing. But yeah, he wants to know about the palace and as much information as he can get.
Well, you can just sit in your room and read a draconic book for free. You can purchase a draconic to common dictionary that you can study and
He
take
could
with
probably
you
do that, yeah.
for 50 gold.
Yeah, he'll do that.
Okay. You can buy a draconic to common dictionary and language book, whatever. Study this for long enough and you'll learn the draconic language.
That's the plan.
Well, apart from that, the information that the Conclave does give you, the Colosseum itself is well documented. There's been plenty of people who've gone through it. Besides the large Colosseum in the center, there is an underground network of tunnels and rooms that is used to hold the tourney members, people who are fighting in the tournament or in the gladiator arena. There is slave cells underneath that in the third lower level. So there's the ground floor, which is the Colosseum, and there's 2 floors of seating in the Colosseum itself. There are 4 columns in the Colosseum, the center room, the center sparring area. Each one does different magical abilities. And this is something that Apollyon would know as well, and anyone who watched the Colosseum would know this. 4 central columns exist in the center of the Colosseum pit. These things do different abilities depending on the roll of the dice and the event itself. They can be used by Colosseum opponents to hurt each other, to help themselves. Sometimes they heal, sometimes they give enhancements, sometimes they harm. It's there's actually about a dozen or so different abilities these things have, and they rotate between them each tournament without any real pattern to it. It's all random. Below that, like I said, there are the tunnels and the rooms for people, as well as the slave cells. But apart from that, that's really all the information the Conclave has. Now, as for the Zaim's palace itself, they have a basic blueprint of the upper levels, and they know that there are lower levels as well, including where they believe the Zaim's vault is located. They don't have a specific blueprint of the lower levels. They've never been able to get any Conclave members in there to map them out. But they do have a pretty extensive blueprint of the upper floors of the palace, which they will provide to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll get you that later.
Yeah, once he gets to Rowena, he'll start kind of checking, asking more sources, see if he can get more information there. But yeah, he's just trying to... He knows this is coming up. He knows that there's someone in the group that's pushing very hard on him to break into that vault. And so he wants to know all the information he possibly can have.
Well, you know that the Gladiator tournament is coming up, and a lot of attention is going to be on that Gladiator tournament. So
yeah, I know.
Yeah. So that's kind of about as much as information as you can glean about the Zaim's palace and the Colosseum itself. They're not connected.
No, yeah. Well, he would know that too, but yeah.
Yeah, you would know that the Zaim's palace is actually on the beach of the Oasis, so he has a direct access to the Oasis lake.
Yeah. He spent a few years in Rowena, so he'd at least know that basic info, but he was hoping for some more inside track shit, see if they had some spies that gotten involved.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Margarden Federation is really...
secretive as fuck, yeah.
Yeah, secretive as fuck, and they tend to assassinate anyone who comes into their borders and tries to find out information that they don't want known.
Mm-hmm.
So there's been a large list of Conclave members who have tried to infiltrate the Federation and have been killed because of it.
I'm sure.
Just hope that some of the people Blood's been told to kill weren't some of those people. I didn't ever think of that. I didn't come up with names. But
you didn't think about it, yeah.
I guess it
nobody does till after the fact, yeah.
Yeah, this is true.
And he'll be reading that all night, and he'll kind of be reading the Draconic, the common thing, and going through Grovajar's journals and trying to translate it himself so he can get to know the nuances of the language.
Absolutely.
I still got those dreams of making those, doing some notes in his
Well, go ahead
handwriting.
and make your first intelligence check to try to learn the Draconic language.
Yeah.
It's 14.
You pull out the Draconic notebook and you're beginning to study it, learning a little bit of the beginnings of the language. And you pull out Grovijar's journal and you're trying to cross-reference it. And unfortunately, doing that it makes it a little harder. And you spend most of your time looking up words and trying to use it more as a dictionary than as a language guide. And so, for your first your first attempt at this, that's a failure.
Yeah.
If only there was someone in your party who might know.
You and he's got fucking Apollyon, but he also wants to be able to do things for himself too. He's a very
fair.
independent boy.
But with that in mind, let's take a look at the rest of the group, where down in the hot tub, Apollyon is getting an oil rub down by 3 prostitutes and is probably pretty rigid at this point. Liam, you're in the water and watching a pair of otters swim around.
Yeah. As the Apollyon scenario becomes more and more to the erotic effect, Liam's probably going to get out, dry off, and head up to his room about that point.
Yeah, once it starts getting hot and heavy.
Yeah, I needed the good soak, but this is a privacy time. I realize that I'm slowly like stepping away.
Hey, there's more than enough to go around, y'all.
You have a good night, buddy. Don't you waste any of that right there. And I'll take off to my room.
Liam's hiding his shame boner as he walks away. Not realizing he actually got a kink out of him. He's like, I'm gonna walk away.
You're not there, so I can't talk about your boner. I mean, like, how do I level the field here? There's nothing I can do.
He might have had one, but it would have been covered.
I can say you're not there, but you've already said what you said. I mean, shit. All right, that's me. What are you guys doing?
Well, unfortunately, my father's really high, so I'm trying to think of a way to
Yeah, but do you really think he needs you, or does he need your absence if he's high?
I just don't know. Yeah, you know what? As an otter, he's not gonna drown. He's gonna float.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna leave him. I'm actually gonna get out as an otter, grab my clothes, and drag it over to the women's side. And as I get into the women's side, I'm gonna turn back into me.
Little otter drags the clothes. I love it.
Sorry, I had to reset for myself real quick. Eloise, you just pulled all the clothes away?
No.
No.
Yeah. Okay, basically,
her clothes.
Once Apollyon and the sex workers got more to the sexual side of the night, I decided to get out of there. Eloise did the same, but she didn't leave in dragon form. She left in otter form, and she took her clothes out to change in the women's room.
Fair enough.
Except that I'm not getting changed in the women's room. I'm hopping into the hot tub on the women's side.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But you still brought your clothes over there.
Yeah. Because I don't want to have to walk naked back into the guys section to go grab my clothes.
You could take other people's clothes right now. Nobody's paying attention.
Nobody really is. I'm just
No, I'm not that mean.
Well,
my father's in an otter form. I don't have to worry about him drowning. So I also don't have to try and figure out a way to get him to bed.
Yeah,
and if he wants to join them, he can now. It's just them.
So
Vulcan gonna be in the lady section.
Vulcan in his otter form has found a really interesting fucking rock, and he is currently just tapping this rock against the fountain, Just
And
tap,
it's
tap,
making
tap.
these great, beautiful tap sounds.
It is. And it's just resonating in his ears, and he is fascinated with this.
Glorious kaleidoscope of colors.
And Liam, it's kind of irritating to hear this tap, tap, tap.
I'm already out of there.
Tap, tap, tap.
Liam left.
Liam peaced out too.
I left
Fair
first.
Enough. Well,
So
Apollyon
here is a tap, tap, tap. While
Yeah,
his
Apollion's gonna
happy
notice.
ending is coming.
Apollyon, you are in your own little world. It is amazing.
Oh yeah, I don't notice anything.
It is amazing. These people are just touching you all over your body. There's sensations and experiences that you've never quite felt before. I want to make you make... Oh.
That's a good roll. How about a charisma save?
I like it. Make for me a charisma saving throw, Apollyon.
Charisma. Can I make a performance check?
Not yet. Not yet. I have that saved.
That's a 16.
Nice.
Yeah, 16 is pretty decent. Yeah. You're into it and you're vibing with these prostitutes and the rhythm that Vulcan is just tapping out with his fucking rock against the statue is just you're vibing with that as well, and it's an amazing experience, and you're unable to handle it anymore, and just right there on the floor you begin to make love with these three prostitutes. Now give me a performance check with advantage because you made that save.
Oh yeah. Oh what?
Wow.
A 10.
Those
Wow.
mushrooms are having more of an effect than you think.
Doesn't somebody have a lucky feat?
They really do. Holy
You know
shit.
what? I do have a lucky point. Let's do a lucky point.
Can't have this end
Come
on such
on.
a sour note.
I'll allow it.
Oh wow, 13.
Yeah, you know what? Sorry, buddy. I was looking for a 15 to make this a good performance, a 18 for a wonderful performance, and over 20 for a amazing performance. You rolled a 13.
Damn.
So-
Right?
Tell you,
Well, you know, I
it's a
paid
great
for it, so they're going to
performance.
tell me it was great no matter what.
Yeah.
Well, they are going to tell you whatever you want to hear, but as things become more passionate and more erotic, the group has already left. Eloise is in her own pool. Liam has pieced out back to wherever he wanted to
My
go,
room.
running off to his room. That tap, tap, tap sound begins to grate on your nerves. It's constant. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. And it just throws off your rhythm. And at first, it's like you're trying to maintain concentration. You're trying to focus on what you're doing, but the drugs in your system, it's bothering you, and you're starting to get angry, and you're starting to become enraged, and there it is in the back of the room, that tap, 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 tap. You can't help. You're starting to get furious because, like, you're trying to focus on these two men, or this one man and two women of different origins that are just beyond exotic and enjoyable, but that tap, tap, tap is making things harder and harder for you to concentrate. And
Damn it.
Can I roll
sorry.
a perception just to look around and see where it's coming from?
go for it. Roll
Oh,
a
you
perception
know,
check.
don't you?
16 on perception.
Yeah, your eyes focus just as the little one goes limp, and you see that otter over at the far end of the room, tap, tap, tapping on the statue, and it just irritates
Oh, it's
you.
fucking Vulcan.
Yep.
There's literally an otter at the other end of the room tapping a rock against a statue, enthralled by the sounds that's coming off it, but it does nothing but irritate the fuck out of you, Apollyon, and you can't keep focus. Your mind just keeps getting drawn away by the sound that resonates throughout this room. For anyone who has never taken drugs in their life, what I'm describing is fairly accurate.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you have no context for this. You just see a fucking otter standing next to a statue, tapping a stone against its side.
So I guess the question is, in your extremely high state after eating 4 mushrooms,
Oh, did he eat?
how do you react to this tapping that just won't stop?
Yes, that's what I was alluding to.
Tap-a-roo. What kind of a check would you make?
I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cast Shape Water and freeze the water around him.
No.
I think I have to be holding my trident though to do
You
that.
will have to pull out your trident, that's for sure.
I assume it's like on the floor with the rest of my things. Right
Oh
there.
yeah,
And,
definitely.
I
It is.
kind of like crawl over to it and like hold it for a minute and do that.
And the prostitutes are kind of upset that you're moving away and you're grabbing a weapon. But what are you doing with it?
Just give me a moment here. And be quiet. And I just freeze the water like below him.
My God.
So, like he can't move.
Yeah. So it.
It says a 5-foot cube.
So yeah. Explain
It
to me the
slows down.
spell.
Tap, tap, tap.
Yeah. Tell me you're using. Control water. So pop up the spell. Tell me what it is you're doing.
Oh shit! It says I can't freeze water that a creature is in.
You could freeze around him, couldn't you?
So yeah, look at the spell. It has certain things it can do. So tell me what you're doing with the spell.
All right, I guess if I
Provided
can't,
there are no
I'll just try to
creatures in
push him away from the statue.
Okay, so you
This
grab
water.
onto the trident, lift it up, and invoking the power within it, you send this fountain of water shooting up out of the pool and to spray this otter. Now he's not a big guy; he's a little otter. So I'm gonna say he's got to roll a D20 plus 2.
It says spell save DC 13. That's my normal DC.
Okay. So he's got to beat a 13 for this.
Yep.
It also says this movement doesn't have enough force to cause damage.
It doesn't. I'm just trying to move him out of the
Yeah,
way.
you're just trying to push him.
Okay.
So he rolled a 17. So water just sprays out at him like a fountain, just hitting this otter. And but he somehow resists it. He fights back against it, and he stays exactly right where he is.
He blocks with the pebble.
He blocks with a rock.
Does he continue to knock on the fucking thing?
Yeah, once the water clears and the spell ends, the little otter just shakes his head and shakes his body, getting a spray of water everywhere around him. He looks at you, Apollyon. And then he goes back to it. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap.
Alright, I'll cast the same spell again, except this time I want the water to spring up into the shapes of other otters. They're all gonna, like, dance around
Oh my
him.
god, he's gonna have a trip.
So these water otters are just going to dance around him?
Yep. It says you can cause the water to form into simple shapes and animate at your direction.
Fuck yeah, I love it. The water just comes springing up off of the stone. I've got the hiccups. The stone, and creates little otters that begin to dance around Vulcan in his otter form. I'm going to
And this lasts for 1 hour.
I'm going to say that as an otter, he has a kind of high perception. So I'm going to let him roll a d20 plus 4. If he can beat your 13, he's not convinced. If so, he loves what he sees.
Okay.
He rolled a 17 again. What the hell?
Fucking cheating SDM.
So these watery otters are dancing around Vulcan in his otter form, and he's kind of vibing with it. And he's like kind of dancing around with it and begins tapping the rock in unison to their movements. Tap, 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 tap.
Oh, God.
Just go to your room, find a way to end this night. You don't have to have sex in the washroom.
Yeah, I'm getting kind of tired of this, so I stand up and come on, my little babies. I'll take you back to my Emperor's suite.
And as you get up and begin coaxing them out, I need you to make another con saving throw at disadvantage.
Okay. That's a 10.
Yeah. Okay.
And that one.
You stand back up and summon your prostitutes to come join you, and they help you.
I wish we could say that every D&D game.
Don't you though? The prostitutes do help you towards your room, but as you get to the second landing, you're naked. They're naked. You're really horny. And you can't help yourself but to start and make it right there on the stairs. The otter, the last thing you see of Vulcan is him diving into the water and beginning to swim around with those magical otters that are lasting for about an hour. And he's just swimming around with them as they dance along the surface of the water. He's just completely enthralled. You make it up to your bedroom eventually, like dry humping these poor people as you go. Give me one more performance check at disadvantage because of your nat 1 on the con saving throw.
Oh, man.
Alright. 20!
Big rolls!
Not too bad.
Now that you're no longer distracted.
Yeah, as soon as the otter was gone.
Go figure, he's not a
That otter
furry.
was just throwing me off my game.
He's not a furry, guys. We figured it out.
Eventually, Apollyon does make it to his bed, along with the prostitutes. The night is amazing for all concerned. Mostly for Apollyon.
Mm-hmm.
He had to roll a 25 to make it so good for them that they might consider other things. God damn, I hate these hiccups I've got. But well enough that they leave and they each give you a kiss. As
They
leave
will
for the
remember
morning.
the name Golden Boi for sure, though.
They will indeed.
Oh, yeah.
Vulcan does not join you. Eloise, you actually, he never comes to bed. When you wake up and find him missing, you go down and look in the last place you found him, and you actually find him curled up naked around the fountain, like just around it, as though he curled up next to it in outer form and fell asleep.
Yeah. I'm gonna gather up his clothes. And, not a wizard, so I don't have, like, a levitate spell or anything.
Shake him awake.
No, that's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and just, do I want to use a 4th level spell first thing in the morning?
It's up
Fuck
to
it.
you.
It's my dad. It's my dad. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and polymorph him back into an otter, and I'm just gonna scoop him up with his clothes, and I'm gonna bring him upstairs to our room, and I'll lay him in his clothes, make like a little nest for him in the bed. Be like, okay, you're good. And then I'll go down for breakfast.
Yeah, absolutely. You can definitely do that, and him in his polymorph otter form does not wake up at all.
Yeah.
He probably sleeps fairly late, near towards noon, after those mushrooms. Apollyon.
So we did get a long rest.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you do get a long rest, but Apollyon, you don't actually wake up until the evening of the next day.
Oh yeah, that's some relaxation.
Does Liam come down for breakfast?
Liam is at breakfast before you come back down after putting Voken up. Yeah, he's
All right.
deep into that bacon, ordering a second round of it.
So
Liam looks completely refreshed, like freaking the black ichor that was pouring out of his ears and the bruises and stuff. Finally, totally refreshed.
Oh, so
Tied up, tight bun.
And yet
That's
he
great.
still
You're feeling
doesn't
better?
have a hat.
we'll figure that out.
Seems all I needed was a good rest.
Sleep. It's the best healer. But,
I think Paulie's gonna be out for a while. We might just want to not disturb him.
yeah, I think my affair is gonna be out for a while too. Like I said, it was gonna be a good night. Ooh.
Well,
what time
you want
did
to go
you?
set up the campsite, I suppose?
Yeah. I'll just leave. I'll just tell the barkeep so that way they can let Apple and Myathera know when they wake up. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna leave a message with the barkeep for Voken and Apollyon, telling them where we are, what we're doing, and for like blood if he comes out of the conclave or not today. I don't know.
Question: who has those stones?
I have one of them.
Doesn't Blood have the other?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use the stone, and I'm just gonna message Blood. Be like, "Hey, Blood. Liam and I are gonna go out and set up our campsite outside of Morag. So just wanted to let you know that that's where we're going. Apollyon is still asleep after having a lot of mushrooms, and so is my affair. So just to let you and Vale know, it probably cut me off away.
Oh yeah, way long ago.
She's
You
still talking.
You heard the first 25 words of that.
Yeah.
I heard campsite. I'll come find you. I'm done with my research, so yeah, I'll come find you. Don't worry.
Right.
Blood's on his way.
Delightful. All right, so I guess we head out of Morag, and I want to set up kind of like a campsite close enough to the road that I can see the people coming into Morag, the people coming past the inn outside of Morag, you know, any carts, any people coming in that way. I want to set up a campsite at least close enough to the road I can see.
That we can see that, but that maybe the people at the entrance can't see us, because we don't want the guy who's going to be looking for you to be able to spot us that
right
easily.
I mean, the campsite's far enough away, but like I'd probably post up in a tree or something like that. I'm specifically looking out for Tomas.
Well, I will remind you, there is an inn outside of Morag.
Yeah, but
time.
honestly, she's a druid, Voken's a druid, I'm an outlander. Like, we love camping. Like, I can't think of a better reason to set up a campsite and just chill for a while.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You could certainly do that. Heading out to Morag in the early morning of the next day, the two of you can find a campsite, probably towards noon, that sees both the road leading towards Morag and the town itself.
Perfect. During that time that we're trying to find a campsite, I'm also going to keep my eyes peeled for my animal messenger.
I'd like to roll a quick performance check for the new glaive, just to try and get a sense of the balance of this thing.
Go for it.
Eek. Just a 10. Pretty low.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's definitely weighted differently than the glaive that you were dealing with in Morag. Much heavier, much more unwieldy, not nearly as good a quality. So you're having a bit of a difficult time dealing with it.
Alright, I'll start a workout regiment to accommodate that. But that's it for now.
Okay. Wow. Camping outside of Morag, it takes about 2 days of camping outside. Before Eloise, you see a familiar bird that returns to the tree you had found it from.
There he is! It's back!
Oh, okay. I get you.
I'm running. I'm looking for it.
Claws, Eloise.
Well, you do spot it, and you do recognize it. You've been watching for it for some time.
Mm-hmm.
You cast your spell to speak to it, because I'm sure you're going to.
I don't need to just yet. As part of the original spell, the bird will either relay a message, or it won't say anything.
Relay no message.
Yeah.
It when you do approach it, it does shake its head that it was unable to send its message.
Okay. Now I will cast Speak with Animals. I think that's one of the ones that I get through my staff. Is it? Or no, I get Speak with Plants through the staff. Alright, anyways, I'm going to cast Speak with Animals. And ask it whether it saw the burnt down shop, if it had already burnt down by the time it got there. Well, yes, it would have, because my thing...
Yeah, it would have burnt before you sent it.
Yeah, it does confirm that the shop had burned down by the time it arrived there.
Yeah.
And that he could not find Mitchell.
Okay. I'm gonna ask it if it maybe, like, heard any rumors or noticed anything funky.
That's a lot to ask of a bird.
Yeah, it tells you that it's a bird, and while it did notice the fact that a lot of humanoids were milling around the place that burned down, by the time it got there, it had burned down completely. There was no more fire, it was just rubble.
Mm-hmm.
And when it arrived, they were searching the place, but it didn't see any sign of the person it had to give the message to. So it turned around and flew back.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and give it some of, like, I probably, as part of my rations, there's probably like seeds and nuts and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna give it like a little handful of them.
Sure.
Thank you so much, and I really appreciate it.
And it sits there and eats some of the seeds and kind of nuzzles into you and appreciates the affection you've given it before it flies off.
And then I'm gonna need to buy something.
What do you need to buy?
I need to buy a scrying focus.
A scrying focus. Interesting.
Yes. I need to buy a scrying focus, so that way I can check in on Mitchell.
Do you know how much those cost?
About 1,000 gold pieces.
Oh, if that's all. I was gonna say, you offered to lend me money last time. I could have helped you out if it cost more than what you had. But yeah, you've got that much on you, just so you know.
You do
And
have
then
some.
I do? Cool. What?
You've got over 3 times that much, but yes.
Oh,
You do have some time to search Morag and ask around. A scrying focus will actually cost you about 1,200 gold in Morag.
Yeah, a little up cost.
But it does, the scrying focus does increase the DC of the spell by 2.
1,200 would make it this. Okay.
Any signs of Tomas while I'm gazing the road?
For those first 2 days, no. Do you have anything else you're wanting to do during that time, or are you still going to be waiting?
Waiting. I figure I'd be taking an hour or 2 each day to help Eloise transcribe the book she asked about. Sylvan's in one of my earliest languages. I know it very well.
Yes, the days where we were just kind of out there before Animal Messenger came, I'm sure we spent a bunch of time doing that.
For those first 2 days, you can inscribe a few of the recipes in that book. I'll give you that. Remind me later, and I'll give you that.
Okay. I figured the first thing I would ask Liam to help translate is just like the name of each of the potions, so that way we can decide which ones we think would be most useful to us, and then translate those ones fully first.
Okay. Well, tell you
Just
what.
that way.
I'll figure out which potions are in the book,
Okay.
and I'll let you know between now and next session which ones they are, and
Okay.
from there you can decide which ones you want to transcribe first.
Cool. Yeah, and then eventually I would like to, once I buy my scrying focus, I would like to try and scry on Mitchell.
Okay. We're going to take care of that at the beginning of next episode.
Okay.
I am going to let you know that Tomas arrives outside of Morag on the evening of the 20th. You've all camped out about half a day between Morag, the outskirts of Morag, and the road, so you're a little ahead of where of the town itself. So you spot him first.
Okay.
When you find him riding up towards you, he looks fairly dusty from his travels, as do the horses, and the carriage itself is dirty. It has arrow holes and slashes in it, and there are several scorch marks and burns in the wood. You're surprised to find that accompanying Tomas is another cart. This cart actually is being controlled by 2 individuals, 2 humans that Liam you recognize.
Tomas, Jareth. Good to meet you again, of course. Yes, good to see you.
And on the evening of the 20th, you come running out, waving your arms and calling to them as they're starting to approach, heading towards Morag. And the halfling on the cart stops. You recognize your horses. You recognize Tomas. And he is very weary and exhausted. And he sees the group of you and he says, "Well, you're a sight for sore eyes, aren't you?"
I'd also like to have bought a bushel of apples before I left for the horses. I just took off 4 silver.
Yeah, that's fair for a bushel of apples.
Yeah. Excellent.
And actually, I think that's where we're going to end things for this evening. We'll find out Tomas and his adventures, and find out what happened the next time we join you.
Beer.
And yeah, behind him, unexpectedly, is the beer cart that Liam recognizes. One thing you're going to recognize, Liam, there's one less barrel on that cart.
Bitch. Oh man, they all had color-coded labels on them. I'm afraid to ask which one.
We'll find out. We'll find out next session.
All right, the beer cart.
Yeah. The beer cart is at Morag. Tomas has come up with it behind, and he's waving. He's like, huh! You are a sight for sore eyes. I'm not going to lie. I feel
By the
like
looks of your cart, you've got quite a few stories to tell.
You look like you do as well. I feel like you're missing a hat, and your hair is a different color.
Weapons are different, gear's different. We've got a lot to discuss.
And that's where we're going to leave it. So, thank you to everyone who watched this evening. I'm very much appreciative of everyone who watches. Tune in next week when we find out what Tomas's adventures have been, what the adventures of Tom and Jerry have been, and how they ended up in Morag. So,
And which keg they lost.
on behalf of everyone in the Faab 5, I just want to say thank you for watching. Have a great evening. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Peace.